Poncho Liner, the woobie. Is it an overrated piece of gear? Stick around, let's find out. You all know the woobie. Not sure where that name came from. In the Marines, we always called it a poncho liner, not a woobie. Poncho, AquaQuest Rogue dry bag. Keeps gear dry, makes that backpack a personal flotation device. And inside this is my poncho liner. Now again, somewhere along the way, somebody started calling this thing a woobie. Not sure where that came from. And I've tried over the years to go with the internet lingo and call it a woobie. It's just ingrained in my brain that this is a poncho liner. So, is this one of the most overrated pieces of military surplus on the market? Well, let's do first things first. This is a poncho. This is the poncho liner. And they go together. Now, question we always get is this has a hole in it for your head because it's a poncho. This does not. Why is that? I'll show you. Pretty simple process here. I'm tying each corner of the poncho liner to the corner of the poncho. So here it is, the poncho and poncho liner all together. So the answer to everyone's question about why the poncho has a hole in it for your head and the poncho liner does not is because this was never meant to be worn as a garment. It's meant to be used as a ranger roll, a makeshift, quick down and dirty sleeping bag with a waterproof shell. The main idea behind the poncho liner was to be able to line the poncho as a makeshift sleeping bag. If you've never had the pleasure of sleeping like this, you should try it out in the backyard one night. Backyard first. See if you like it. Try it out and you'll see what I mean. Small hint, this doesn't breathe. So now let's move on to why I have the loops and buttons. Grand Trunk Skeeter Beater Pro hammock. Been using this hammock for years now. Pretty nice. Love the colors. It comes with a built-in bug net. Non-detachable. Sewn in. And the way that you use it without the bug net, which is what I'm going to do today, you simply just flip this over. And get in it this way. So now the bug net is on the outside of it. And you get in like so. Poncho Liner Ranger Roll Edition. Now I mentioned just a few minutes ago about these loops and buttons. I'm going to show you the loops first. A little bowline knot here. Now the whole reason behind my loops is so that I could make an underquilt for this hammock. And by adding these loops like I have, you can really sense the closing on each end, actually. Cinch it down pretty good. And it takes a few minutes like this, but basically what this does is it turns this Poncho Liner into a fantastic underquilt for this hammock. This is the center tie-out point. All I do is run these through these loops on the end. And I'll do this on each side, left side and right side. And what this does is it allows me to cinch this Poncho Liner tight. Closes it up on the ends like that around the hammock. So here we have it. Poncho Liner underquilt. Loops hold it together. If you had to, you can stuff more debris in there, leaves and such, for extra warmth. I don't use it like this very often. I don't hammock camp as much as I used to. Probably will get back more into that here, maybe some this year. Okay, so here I am in the hammock. You can see this underquilt fits under me. It's very nice, very snug. Plenty of room in here. Like I said, be able to stuff more debris in there if you have to. Noticeable difference when you're inside the quilt and then outside the quilt. It's about 55 degrees today. It's supposed to be sunny, but it's overcast. Slightly breezy, and in a hammock you can really tell that. You can really feel any slight breeze that comes through. You can really feel that, and I can actually feel the heat being retained by the Poncho Liner. Pretty cool, pretty warm, but pretty cool in concept. You know what I'm talking about. Poncho Liner underquilt. Okay, so that explains these loops. Now what about the buttons? For this next segment, I had to break out the pullover. This is the Polartec 200 fleece pullover. It's bad. So, buttons. Poncho Liner. Is this thing an overrated piece of junk? For this demonstration, I'm going to use the Poncho Liner again. The buttons are for these loops. There's another version of this Poncho Liner, and it has a zipper. And that zipper would actually take the place of the function of these buttons. Now these buttons I've got sewn on here. Simply to act like a zipper. Poncho liners are a part of the layering system in the military cold weather sleep systems. So in order to get down to some of those negative degree temperatures, you're going to need a Poncho Liner. And what this does, by sewing the buttons on here, it allows me to continue to use this as a Poncho Liner, like you normally would, like a blanket, and underquilt for the hammock. But it'll also allow me to put this together to go inside the sleeping bag. Now the reason why you want this either zip together or button together is because when you're inside that sleeping bag, you tend to move around, you shuffle a little bit, and this material is so slick. It's easy to push this off of you and down around your feet, or it bunches up behind you and you lose the insulative properties that this offers when you use it. Now, we're going to just pretend that I am inside of a 3-season sleeping bag or inside of the entire cold weather sleep system. And you can see how this functions like a zipper. Keeps you from kicking out. Now the zipper would be more efficient as far as keeping heat in, but the big part of this idea is to at least stay inside of the Poncho Liner. Now you may be asking, how hard is it to get these loops undone? It's pretty easy. It does take a little time, but it's not hard. And if you're in that big of a hurry, you need to get out, you need to move, pack your gear, just get out of it and stuff it in your bag. But they come apart pretty quickly. I can get my hands right and can see. Easy does it. So, is it an overrated piece of military junk gear? Absolutely not. I don't know how you live life without one of these. This is just a fantastic piece of military surplus. You can use this in your survival gear. You can use this at home on the recliner. It's very slick, so you're going to slide. And if you noticed just a moment ago on this hill, once I got in this, I started sliding a little bit. That's how slippery this stuff is. But there's just something about it that just makes your heart smile. It makes my heart smile. So, in my opinion, everybody should have one. if you don't have one in your kit, I think you need to get one. You can buy them online on eBay. Facebook Marketplace is a good place to find some of the cheaper ones. And you can ask, sometimes it's easier to deal with people on Facebook Marketplace than it is on eBay. But we were able to get all of our stuff local. And this was around $40, and it's brand new. Well, it was brand new when we purchased it. I've been using it for a couple years now, and have got several other of the Poncho liners in the woodland marpat pattern. The old woodland pattern, not the marpat, the old woodland pattern. So I think this is a fantastic piece of gear. I love my Poncho liner, and hopefully if you've not seen the ways that I have shown today, if you've not seen that before, hopefully that gave you some food for thought. It's intended to be used as a blanket. That's why it doesn't have a hole in it for your head. You can use it as an underquilt for the hammock, and it's also intended to be a blanket to go inside of the sleeping bag. I thank you for joining me today. Defend the weak, fight for what you love, and may the wings of liberty never lose a feather.